Great. Thank you so much for that introduction, Maria. I guess we'll start. Hi, everyone. I just want to make sure that everyone can see the screen. If you're on a laptop, we do have a presentation up and running. Um, so I just want to make sure that everyone can see that.
Yes, we can see it on our end.
Perfect. Great. Well, hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're very excited to have you. I'm Sheila. I work on the Supplier Diversity team at DELL, kind of helping to program manage key strategic initiatives, as well as supporting our outreach and champions program. So today I'll be talking a little bit about specifically how to do business with DELL Technologies and how to build that engagement with our company. So as I mentioned, we'll be talking a little bit about who exactly is DELL Technologies, kind of going over an overview of supplier diversity, and then how to work and get engaged with procurement as well. So who is DELL Technologies? Well, DELL Technologies was formed on September 7th in 2016 with the goal to help solve customer and partners' IT problems today and into the future. So as of now, our company is unmatched in scale, influence, and experience. DELL Technologies is a unique family of businesses that provides the essential infrastructure for organizations to build their digital future, transform IT, and protect their most important asset, information. So our company comprises of the DELL Client Solutions Group as well as DELL EMC Infrastructure Solutions Group, both of which are supported by our service organization. And then underneath with that, we have 3 strategically aligned businesses, which are Pivotal, SecureWorks, and VMware, and 2 wholly owned businesses, so businesses that we own, which are RSA and VirtuStream. Yeah. So a little bit of by the numbers here. At approximately $74 billion in revenue, we are the world's largest privately controlled technology company. And to give you kind of a sense of the company's scope and scale, we serve 98% of the Fortune 500. We have over 140,000 team members, over 30,000 full-time customer services and support team members, and we operate in 180 countries. We are also leaders in CSR initiatives, corporate giving support, and support for diversity in the workplace. Again, DELL Technologies is a unique family of businesses, and it's this unique structure that gives us the size and scale of the biggest of the big, kind of, along with the ability to innovate like a startup. So if you can see here, this is kind of how our company is structured with Client Solutions Group and the EMC Infrastructure Solutions Group, as well as RSA and VirtuStream under DELL Inc. And we have our strategically aligned businesses, so businesses that operate alone outside of DELL, which are Pivotal, SecureWorks, and VMware. Now I'll just go into a quick overview of supplier diversity. Supplier diversity falls under supply chain sustainability at DELL. Our team rolls up to Jennifer Allison, who is the VP of Supply Chain Sustainability. She reports to Kevin Brown, who is the Chief Supply Chain Officer, who goes up to Jeff Clark and then to Michael Dell. Reporting directly to the Chief Supply Chain Officer really emphasizes just how committed DELL is to our diverse suppliers and our diversity program. Sustainability in itself is a fairly new organization and combines several different groups throughout DELL. So we have our programs that focus on making sure that DELL operates ethically and with environmental awareness, which are the social environmental responsibility teams, conflict minerals, packaging logistics, and LCA, as well as the responsible electronics disposition teams. And then we also have teams that are focused on ensuring that we operate with minimal risk. So that would be our secure supply chain, our BCP program, and our global ops controls. All of these programs help to build a sustainable value chain and continuously raise the bar in this industry for DELL. So now a little bit specifically about supplier diversity. Supplier diversity governs the use of historically underutilized businesses to progressively transform a corporation's supply chain to reflect the demographics of the global community in which it operates. So the mission of supplier diversity, specifically at DELL, is to help engage and develop diverse suppliers within the company, um, allowing them to deliver superior performance that will enhance the overall customer experience, support continued economic growth in our diverse communities, and increase global market share. As Michael Dell says, Dell develops strategic, sustainable relationships with a very diverse group of qualified suppliers. Our customers come from every nation, culture, and walk of life, and it's important that all aspects of our business reflect the same diversity. So as you can see, diversity in itself is very important at Dell, and we like to make sure that our supply base reflects that of our customers. Our program specifically runs on a project-based methodology that spans across multiple levels at Dell. As we mentioned earlier, this program is a priority and a commitment for Dell and comes from the top down. That being said, our CEO chairs the Global Diversity Council and our CSO chairs the Supplier Diversity Steering Committee. Our direct team, which is me, Darlene, and one other person, Samantha, as well as our champions and buyers work to ensure that Dell supports diverse supplier inclusion in our supplier base, and that we are all accountable for reaching our diverse spend targets set both with the government and internally within Dell. This requires cross-functional collaboration to ensure the continuous progress of our program. We also make sure to track our spend on a monthly basis and report the actuals to target out to our team of champions and executives. We also have a Tier 2 program, or we also run a Tier 2 program, Women Supplier Diversity here at Dell. Our Tier 2 program drives diversity and inclusion throughout the supply chain by ensuring that the suppliers that we work with also support diverse businesses. We currently have over 100 suppliers reporting Tier 2 spend with us and are driving these values by making sure that we source suppliers with strong supplier diversity programs. We include supplier diversity language in our contractual agreements and monitor diverse spend levels from our suppliers' spend reports. We also provide feedback on our supplier diversity efforts, on our suppliers' supplier diversity efforts periodically through business reviews, kind of maybe every quarter or so. Now, moving on to specifically how to get engaged with Dell procurement. So there are several steps to building a relationship and getting engaged with Dell procurement. First off, you must be a certified diverse supplier, and we'll go through each of these a little bit more in depth after the slide. But first off, you must be a certified diverse supplier. You need to also, sorry if there's a lot of background noise, there are people around us right now. But secondly, you also need to make sure that you determine how your business can specifically align with Dell's strategic goals and objectives. We do procure in over 20 commodities, but with that being said, you do also need to develop a capability statement that has a unique value proposition tailored to Dell. And lastly, you need to be sure to be registered with Dell and Connexus, which is our current supplier portal. So as I mentioned before, I'm going to be kind of speaking a little bit about each of these points. So Dell has partnered with several certifying organizations, both within the United States and globally. To be considered a diverse supplier at Dell, you must be certified with one of these organizations. For women-owned businesses, we accept WeBank and WeConnect certifications. For minority-owned businesses, we accept NMSDC certifications within the United States. In China, it's MSD China. We also partner with the SBA for small businesses and GLCC for LGBTQ-owned businesses, and NVBDC for our veteran certified businesses. As I mentioned earlier, we procure in over 20 commodities, so these are just several of the commodities that we procure in. So Dell procures and services that support a wide range of areas that include, but are not limited to, facilities, IT, consulting services, logistics and supply chain services, HR, marketing, software, and packaging. So it's important to ensure that your business aligns with the commodity that we procure in and think about specifically what sets you apart from the other suppliers in that category. Next step is to kind of craft and submit a capability statement to DELL. So as we mentioned before, find your alignment with Dell's strategic goals and define your specific, unique value proposition to Dell. There are several things to consider when submitting a capability statement and kind of creating it, whether that be for Dell or any large corporation. You want to make sure that you highlight your areas of expertise, for instance, industry recognized certifications or federal or state or local certifications that you may have, as well as operational expertise, so offices and locations. If you operate nationwide or globally, you want to include that in your statement. Whether you kind of operate in multiple languages is also important, something to consider. You want to be truthful about what you're capable of, but don't be afraid to toot your own horn a little bit, so to speak. So make sure you tell us specifically, some of the things and expertise that you bring to the table that are different and make you different from other suppliers in that commodity. And yeah, like I said, look to differentiate yourself from other competitors. Speak to your successes, what your value add is, what problems have you helped customers solve, and definitely provide specific case studies that outline your process and your success with a customer. So how you've previously helped a customer, just stories about that. Make sure you cater your approach and focus on what specific problems you're trying to help us solve and what value solution you bring to Dell. For instance, like cost savings or increased efficiency and so on. It can be hard for us and our buyers to understand exactly what you do when suppliers give us just a large list of capabilities that they have. So it's really great and it really sets you apart when you point out specifically, what you can help Dell with. We find that the suppliers who do the best are the ones who make sure they do their homework and really kind of try to understand what is missing at Dell and what they can help with and how they can add to that. And lastly, make sure you are on our online portal for diverse suppliers. We previously used Supplier Connection, but we have recently transitioned to Connexus. All of our buyers are trained to search through this when an RFP opportunity arises, and we help to search through them too and kind of give them recommendations of which suppliers to include in their RFP. So make sure that you create an account and make sure that your company profile is 100% complete and up to date so that when we are looking through this portal, it's easy to pull and easy to make a recommendation about who exactly fits for that RFP. So yeah, that is basically how to get engaged and how to start building a relationship with Dell. Those would be the 4 key steps. And does anyone have any questions for me, Darlene or Daniel?
Hi, Sheila. It's Maria. Thank you so much for running through this. Very helpful to get that overview. We had one question come through while you were speaking, and that was about the capability statement and whether you have some sort of template to share with people who are crafting that for the first time.
Of course. We don't specifically have a Dell template or a Dell recommended template that you use, but honestly, just including your company's purpose, your company's mission, the areas and NAICS codes that you specialize in work really well. You do want a specific capability statement for events and then a specific capability statement that you can tailor towards the companies that you're specifically targeting as well. So you kind of have to edit it as you go along. But making sure that is up to date and relevant is always really important. I'm trying to think of any resources that you may have or have access to that you can look into, but I'm pretty sure if you just, Google capability statement online, that's always a really good place to start.
Great. Maybe we can capture some of those first few bullet points that you said, just about the things to include, and send them out in our follow-up email. That way people can have something kind of concrete to work off of.
Yeah, I'd actually be happy to send you this whole deck, and you can send that out to anyone who attended.
Great. That was another question, actually. So thanks for addressing that. And do you work with diverse suppliers in the UK?
We do, yes. So we actually have a global ambassadors program specifically to work with diverse suppliers outside of the United States. So we have representatives in several regions that kind of represent diversity in those regions.
Perfect. All right. I don't see any other questions coming through, but if people do follow up afterwards, I know sometimes it can take a little bit for questions to come. Maybe we can connect people over email if that works.
That works.
Okay, great. Well, Sheila, thank you so much for your time, and Darlene and Daniel, thank you for being on the line as well. And we will be following up with those resources after this recording is uploaded to our site. So stay tuned, and have a great afternoon, everyone. Bye.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.